nice in Park Hill. I'll even say hello to Popeye. I forget your kitty's name. And Matthew. And Jacob. And Mummy. And Daddy. And all the little things that are eating out of your bird feeder. That little sound of that train whistle that you heard just at the start is a train whistle I have from, just made of wood, and it's made to sound like the old steam engine trains, which I'm going to send you a number of the steam engines that we have on a little railroad down here. It's about 12 miles long. It's called the Hillsborough and Salem Railway, and if you come down this summer, I'm going to take you for a drive on it. It's got the steam engine and all the smoke coming out the top. I'll show you a picture. I'm going to send you pictures of it. And my brother and I were on it, and it's really nice. And I'll send you up a picture of that particular little railroad. It's only about, it'll be about half an hour's drive from Moncton here, and they keep it going. I still belong to a little railroad up there from Port Stanley. They call it the Lort Stanley Railroad, but it's got a little diesel engine and little small cars, and it's not really like the old-time steam trains and cars that these used to be. Now down here in Hillsborough, they got a nice diesel engine and dining car, and with lobster and like a whole full dining car. Have a nice meal. But Albert and I and several people that I've gone with, we always take the old steam engine. It's just the old colonist coaches. It's really nice. You hear the old steam engine puff, 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 and stuff like that. Sometimes it has a hard job to get up the hill. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that I got a little tape off to you. I should have gotten one off before, Matthew, but it seems every time I start, I pick out a tape and it's already used, and I pick another one, I think it's there, and it turns out bad, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we've got an awful lot of snow down here. Oh, snow way up, gosh, where I park my car, the snow's up pretty near to the top of the windows when I have my parking lot cleaned out. And there's still robins down here, and we saw a red-winged blackbird one day, and I think, I don't know about out there in Hyde Park or not, but in London, the cardinals, the red fellas, they don't go south in the wintertime, but they're like the blue jays. Anyway, I've found them down here as far as Amherst, so they're coming this way. And as I told you, I think I told your mom here a while ago, I heard one last spring singing as loud as could be on the great big spruce tree outside my window. Anyway, we have a big pheasant with a big long tail and beautiful colors on his neck there. He's around all winter, but we're not allowed to feed him, because if we feed the pheasant, the squirrels come. And the squirrels are little red squirrels, not the big black fellows like you have up there, these fellows. And they'll come in, and they go up the side of the building, and they get in some people's houses or around the patios, and they make a nest. And so we're not allowed to feed the birds or stuff like that. However, coming home from outside of Riverview the other day, there are two beautiful bees standing out in the field, and the person I was with said, "Are those deer?" And that, for a minute, kind of caught me off guard. And so they're coming out now from the woods to find a little bit of green, or not green grass, but brown grass. Apparently brown grass is just better to them than there is hay that they feed them. So I was going to tell you a story about last year and it was kind of sad because there was a little bear, like little baby bears are born in the wintertime while their mother is asleep. So Brunswick, the little bear was born a little bit early, and her mother went to sleep, and she sleeps all winter. And the little bear is supposed to stay with her, but it didn't. It was only about as big as like a muskrat or a big rat. And they found the little bear going around. It didn't have hardly any hair on it. Couldn't find out where the mama bear was. So they picked up this little tiny bear, and they got a skidoo, and they drove through the woods, and finally, on a frosty, frosty morning, they saw some white smoke coming up from this great big pile of brush, and all covered up. It was almost like a great big igloo. A little bit of smoke coming out like a chimney. And one of the fellows said, I'll bet you that's Mama Bear in there, asleep, and that's just her breath coming up through there. So they took the little tiny bear, the little tiny fellow, and they put him in there, and by gosh, they waited and waited, and he never come back up. And of course, Mama Bear never woke up yet, but they watched him all year. They put a little bit of spray paint on his leg, and they found him, and he's doing great, and he got to be quite a big bear, and away he went. Now, how he ever got out of that place, such a small little bear, nobody knows. But anyway, I don't know if old Mama Bear ever knows he left the house or not. But there's, we had an awful time. Hello again. I'm going to try and get this tape finished. I had so many interruptions, and we're talking about heavy snow. Good Lord. This is actually the 7th. The glasses on. I can talk without my glasses on, but I can't see without one on. Anyway, we've had one son of a gun of snow, and I think I was talking to your mom there since we had it, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. But you know, it's a strange thing. We were out there, about 25 us probably, women and men, and a lot of them, and most of them older now, digging and picking and shoveling, get the cars moved so the plow could plow out there, everything. And we're all laughing, and we're just like a, just like a nice, like a party. We weren't, condemning or cursing about the snow or what an awful place to live. We just enjoyed every bit of it. And I finally did get enough snow to get my snowshoes on. And I went way down, I carried them until I got across the highway, and way down through the park away from where the ski trails are. And boy, I'm telling you, some nights, and I come back and made another track, so I went out again this morning, and it's still just beautiful because the snow was fairly heavy. It wasn't very fluffy. It didn't sink that much, maybe. But coming back, I made a nice I noticed there's one other track, only one other snowshoe track, and he had the bear paws on him, which I don't really like them, but anyway, you got no tail on them, like. And Janet and Ralph had them. We used them up in Memory Club. However, it's been one, I could hardly see out my window here where they blew the snow up and shoveled it all out in my car. I got some pictures, but I figure if Carl and I go out west, but it might be sometime after the end of the month. His kids want him to get out and get out of the house. He doesn't have to, he can't move into his new place till the 1st of May, and the closing of his house is the 31st of. They're telling him, well, you just can't work and go home and sit down there all alone. So they want to go west and see his kids out there. So he wants me to go with him, and I guess probably I will. We made it before. I made it out to Jasper and back before, and he and I went all the way to Vancouver and back before. It was kind of nice. We're both railroaders. You see, it's no good of me going with or Ralph or Terry because you say, geez, what is this? We know all the station stops and where we meet trains and how many trains and what kind of trains they are and talk to the train crew, and we're all, we're just that kind of people. And we don't mind it. I don't mind sitting up 3 or 4 days, or 3.5 days from Toronto to Vancouver. Of course, it's overnight and half a day, or 24 hours, what it is from here to London. So we're going to try. It only goes 3 days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday from Toronto and to Vancouver, and then of course the opposite day is coming back. But he wants to go up to see. We stop in Edmonton. It was about a 5-hour bus trip from Edmonton up to Cold Lake, and come back to Edmonton, and then go back out to keep on going out to Vancouver. Anyway, it's just something he's got to do, and they want him to do it, and he's got some extra money there this time. Sorry about that. He said, don't worry about, because last time I did kind of kick in quite a bit there because the poor fellow ran out of money. And anyway, I had my visa then and stuff like that, but this time I ain't, so he said, don't worry about a thing. Anyway, it looks like we're around your way, oh gosh, I don't know, first week in April or something like that. But boy, I'm telling you, I don't know about this, I guess probably since I started this tape, I've been talking to you, Heather, and I've been talking to you recently, and I'm going to call you in about 20. I don't want to get into detail on the tape about the ACCIDENT and all this kind of stuff, but I'll give you a call there after a little bit. So I just want to keep this light if I can. And I've been shoveling and, doing this, that, and I like it. God, man, somebody the other day said, shouldn't be out here shoveling. You've been shoveling here for 4 or 5 hours. I said, oh, well, I feel good. I'm trying to take it easy. But before I go out, I have a cup of coffee and just a glass of juice or something like that. Don't shovel snow, and don't tear into it like a bulldozer. Yeah, as long as you haven't got a full stomach, you do pretty good. Anyway, a couple of, I was trying to think of a way I could play you this little, it's kind of a nice thing about all bird calls, but I can't do it, because I haven't got 2 record players, so I'm going to send you up a little tape. Maybe the children enjoy it, the little all bird calls and the loons and, stuff like that, and robins and stuff. So I'll send that up to you. It's kind of, I think it's Loon Lake Echoes or something like that. It's kind of nice, little frog going beep, beep, and stuff like that. So anyway, when I shut this off here now, and I'm going to call you. It's now 7:30. I'll give you a call, and then I'll get back to you.
Lloyd Schuler, the signal maintainer, is telling me he run into Jack Ryan out at Masonville, and he's retired again from the Canadian Tire Corporation. I think he'd been there about 6 years. After he left the railway, he hired on out there and did a number of different things. And last week I was out at the garage getting the new muffler put on the car, and I seen this guy outside, and he looked a little bit familiar, but I didn't know who he was. And finally he came in there in the lounge there and looked right at me, and I said hello. And he says, hello, Doug. He says, it is Doug, isn't it? I didn't have a clue who the heck he was. And he said he was Gary McBain, ex-operator there that had been around W office a little bit and around the area. Said that he went to the running trades in 97, and I think he maybe was one of Briggs's pals that when he got him hired on. But he was telling me about the tunnel being finished now. I guess you probably seen it and keeping track and whatnot. I didn't know it. I thought they had a breakdown there. Well, I guess they did have the breakdown, but Gary said they had the thing, that big machine locked in they had put concrete behind it, and the bank was in front of it, and they couldn't get the bloody thing forward or backwards, but I guess they finally got the parts repaired and got her back in there and got the tunnel fixed, but no trains going through there yet. But this Gary, he said he went to the running trades, and break and wrote his conductor's papers, and then went out to Gimli. Well, it's a month they have to go out there now, or what it is. I know it was cut down from what they used to go, but I'm not even sure how long they have to go out to Gimli. But he says a lot of the trains now are running with only, you know that better than I do probably, only two-man crew, a little box on the end and just two guys in the engine. And I asked him what happened out there at Kamoka when they had, or Hyde Park when they had that tail end there, and he never shed too much light on. He said something about the signals being screwed up, that the lenses weren't right, but I don't know. I guess they're using a different rule book than what we use, because I don't know how you could get a faulty signal to get a proceed. But anyway, it's still in the investigation process. I haven't heard too much. I guess I mentioned on the tape there that trains are running this afternoon. There had been a few running. I guess the officials were keeping the rust off the rails and whatnot, because Schuler told me he walked from down where he lives there by Wonderland Road out to Hyde Park on Saturday, and he said, gee, looked up, here's a train coming at him. I don't think city train's running, but I guess that's what they were doing, knocking the rust off. But, Bern, there's not too much going on around here. Can't tell you too much other news. So I hope you have luck trying to make out what the heck I said on those tapes. If not, why, erase it and use it for something else. And in the meantime, why, take care of yourself, and we'll see you when you're up here.
Yeah, I just turned back, and that's all there is on that side. See, I had finished that whole side that goddamn music was on there, but it never came out because I forgot to put her on record and play, so that's what happened. So I had to see if there was any other talking on there. Of course there isn't. I had that whole bloody tape on there and didn't, no, I don't know what I said. But I was getting back to Lionel Teed and these guys that are retiring. By God, Al, first of all, I didn't know he had a bad heart or anything like that. And secondly, I didn't think he was, ready for it, but I guess he wasn't any chickenly down our way. And I suppose it'll be a big mad rush for who's going to get his job, or are they going to fill it, or what? You were saying they made 2 jobs in one there. Every time I do a tape, I intend to ask you, like Jimmy Hallett at Hubbard's and French and these places. I think Lockport, you told me, is gone. But I still just forgotten whether you told me or not. Well, I could play some of your tapes because I got them out here, but whether you had they had closed up all those bloody places or not. And I just wonder what they're doing, what those guys are doing, because they just haven't got jobs for them to go to now, like they did when they first closed those places and making service reps out of them and all that kind of stuff. But possibly you told me and I'd forgotten. And another thing, I was just wondering, you never mentioned the little seniority list that I sent you there. But I've got a lot of familiar names on that, and I guess you got it all right. It's just that, you forget when things. And by the way, I got your package of, or your summer savior in the mail the other day at work, and damn glad to get it. Jesus Christ, I'm tired now. I was outdoors all day, and my legs and feet feel like those goddamn 2 pieces of pulpwood. But it's worse than with one of those ice shovels or ice remover things than it is shoveling. But then we had to get a couple of places ready today, and I scrubbed about 4 floors and waxed them, and people are there ready to move in this weekend. And we've got about 11 vacancies between December 1st and the last of February, and then the painter paints them all, and then we get in and clean them up. Jean does a little bit, like wiping out the fridge or something, but I don't want her to do anything heavy. And I spend as much time as I can outdoors around, so I was bloody shoveling and stuff to do, but I enjoy it. I don't feel good really unless I'm working hard, but some days it gets a little much. Goes every other night. You got to go through the whole routine again. But getting back to the old gang there, I was surprised. I didn't bother looking it right over, but you can pretty well tell who's around, who isn't. I haven't heard anything from Mom or Marion since I got a little. I guess I must have said. Now, see, I forget whether I said it to you on a previous tape or whether it was on the side of this tape that I didn't have connected up, about getting a little short note from Marion with a picture of Mum in it, 2 pictures of Mum sitting in Donnie's living room, and then one of Donnie and Mum just coming in, like standing on the veranda. And gosh, Don looks good. Mum looks excellent. Christ, can't stop yawning. But I was telling you, I guess, on the other side it didn't come out, that I wrote Mum a letter. I dropped Muriel a letter too one time, about the same time, I guess. That'd be 2 weeks ago now. I guess probably she's still at Donnie's or wherever, and hasn't been back up to your place. So maybe if she, I don't expect a letter from her very much, because the last one I had was only a little card with a little bit of two sides of it, and my God, her poor old hand's getting pretty bad. But anyway, I expect to hear maybe from Marion or somebody soon again. I try to write somebody a letter so there's something for the mailman to come. And of course, the communications with you are pretty good, but this is about as long as I've gone without getting some sort of a tape or something off to you. I hope these turn out pretty good, Al. Yours sound pretty good. Sometimes on yours they you drift away a little bit, but it comes along. It comes in very good. And when I play these back to see what I said to you, they sound good and good and clear. So I hope they're as good on that. I was thinking the other day I should drop Franny a card or just a few lines. You must kind of find it lonesome up there, and I guess nobody does really drop in that often except you, kind of stuck up there in the corner. I don't know. I guess that's what he wants, all right, but sometimes you kind of wonder about people, whether they miss anybody or not, and kind of a queer old existence. If he's content, I suppose, just to work and sit around. I guess he's goddamn well earned it. Although he doesn't have to sit around half full or anything like that, but lost a lot of good times when he couldn't sit around in one spot too long. I heard through the grapevine that Jerry had a car. I don't know if I mentioned that to you before. Of course, you'd know that anyway. I think Diane said it was a Gremlin. If I'm not mistaken. I hope it's a pretty good one, although he always managed to get a fairly decent car, except that big old Buick or something he had from Uncle Allen. I don't think that was any goddamn prize. I've had great luck with my little Vegas station wagon, and she starts, by God, great, and I'm so damn pleased with it, it's not even funny. I was a little afraid there, after I got it, hear people talking, oh, Christ, don't buy a Vega, they got the aluminum block and this and that, and I couldn't say a word against her. I'm so goddamn happy. Michael got a hell of a nice little car here just a couple of weeks ago. It's a four-cylinder Pinto. It's not a hatchback, but it's something like a hatchback. In fact, they just left here a few minutes ago. He's off work. He hurt his elbow. Goddamn bad. He's been off work for 2 or 3 days. Anyway, it's a lovely little car. Doesn't work quite as good as mine as far as the pickup goes, which sounds kind of funny because mine's a little wagon. And General Motors, and his is a Ford. It's a hell of a pretty little thing, inside and out, just like brand new. And he had trouble with it first. He couldn't get it to go. Christ, you couldn't get it to go. It had no power or anything, but he took it back, lugs and points, and filter and stuff in it, and he stayed right on top of them. And so tonight it's working good. But somebody's had it and just puttered around in it and helped me. Jesus, Albert, you'd pretty have to get out and push it up a little bit of a grade. And he thought that's what a four-cylinder worked like. But mind, there's no comparison to a little car and a big car. But around, you just got to take your time. And when you push those little fellas, they just don't go anywhere. But his was really working bad. But it was so good condition, I suppose they just took it from whoever in the hell had it and put it in the lot and it would sell itself. And it's sure in beautiful shape. So he finds it a lot easier for getting around now. And who was a good clean-cut guy, and a guy that you didn't have to worry about maybe going off the deep end again. Now, what I mean by this is we're looking for big brothers up here, big brothers. And pretty near every big brother is either a homosexual or a reformed drunkard. And he's trying to show a 12 or 11 or 9 or 8-year-old boy how to grow up. Somehow I just don't quite swallow that. Maybe I a little too suspicious, but I don't know. Anyway, after another topic, we'll talk Hummer. I had a picture, 3 pictures, I guess it was. One of 2 of Mum sitting in Donnie's living room, one of Mum and Donnie coming in the front step, and they both look well, by God. And put it on again, and I didn't push the record button. I did the whole first side, and of course there was nothing on it, just these 3 or 4 terrible tunes of mine that I played in the very day I got the violin. So I'm going to finish this side and see what I did on the other side. And I just thought I'd put those on there and see what you thought of it. I haven't touched the violin since I got a week ago Saturday. I haven't had time. And the day I did play those was the first time I touched a violin since I had that one Weldon gave me. But this evening, a while ago there, I played a little bit, and it seemed to be a little bit better. So I guess you got to play it more than once every 25 or 30 years before you So I'm going to practice on it, and every once in a while I'll throw a tune in there. So just for this, you see how I'm progressing. Hell of a nice little violin. It's 3/4 size, and a nice brand new case with it, and so on. I don't know whether I told you that on the other side of the tape or not, or on the first side of this one. I'll play her back after a few minutes and see what the hell I have got on here. There really isn't all that much news, Al. Terrible, terrible, terrible busy at work. You've got no idea. The plows, blowers, 2 and 3 engines off the track, 2 and 3 plows off the track, trains all bunched up and froze up, and oh, Jesus, I never saw her. We could move on the main line from Toronto to Sarnia and Windsor, but do you suppose we can get passenger trains to move? It's just sickening. There's so many people travel by train here in this corridor area, they call it, and when they can't get, my Jesus, they should be able to move passenger trains better than we do here, but they just don't seem to care. Equipment's like, of course, we got brand spanking new freight engines, beauties, and nothing for the passengers. So I'm going to shut this down now and turn her back and see what I got, and then I'll have to go and finish up on the other side. And I might be able to play a tune again before I quit. Pam's coming along great on the organ. She got new books that made for that type of an organ, and she really spends a lot of time at it. And she's going to, and she can really play some nice pieces. It's a pretty good sized machine, and really makes a nice job when she does it. I play it a little bit just the usual way I play the piano. A few hymns and stuff, but she plays, these other ones, modern pieces, and she plays them right the way they should be played, and by God, she's good at it. She loves it. I want to stop now for a second, turn this back, and see what the hell I did on it. So, I went back to the first side and put a little on there. Go back and picked up here out. I was thinking of what I had said the first time I did this bloody tape, and of course I don't think there's anything much more to add on it, but sometimes you get when your old brain is working, and sometimes they're not so good, but Jean's not bad. She's been, coughing quite a little bit, and still takes her 2 or 3 pills a day for her lungs, and of course her other problems are still with her, and will be for a little while, I suppose. But anyway, probably, I hope everybody else does. Kind of mixed up, though, for a while. Jesus, I was just looking over the our seniority list here. I'm about number 40 on the whole Great Lakes region. And that's not really down that far. Where in the name of the Roaring Peter all the years went, I don't know. We have class here the other day. Rupert was here, and this and that. They're sending guys out there for a week now. And they ram it to you mostly on the Big Gimli manual, and then slap you with your final exam. But they want you to know that manual and your other stuff. They're coming up with it right away. So I don't know just what they'll do after they get the new rule book. He tells us that we're not entirely cut off from our new raise that they want to give us so goddamn bad. It's the railway that wants to give it to us, and apparently it's the western region that doesn't want to settle for it by making all the weights across into groups and so on. They always had more pay than we did, and they want to stay that way, and they're battling for a 6-hour day. So whether that'll amount to anything, I don't know, but apparently they still want to give us this raise, but it's being held up by us, they say, and likely there's segments of the workers that would never be satisfied if they gave us $100 more a week. Some son of a whore would have to turn around and say that it wasn't too much, or we weren't worth it or something, to knock that in the head. But as far as I'm concerned, we're getting along okay. Income tax wise, it kind of hurts anyway. So doesn't make much difference how much more we get now. By the time we're ready to take the pension, we'll have day shift and Saturday and Sunday off, and your family will be growing up, and I guess we'll get by. We won't starve. The hard years is when you got your low rate of pay, crazy shift to work. So I'd never do it again, not on the railroad. If the goddamn railroad went right direct, non-stop, from here to heaven, I would never do it again. Waste my life on the night shift from 4 to 12. But I can't do anything about it now. Danny and Michael don't make that. They were always trying to get on braking or doing something. Of course, I didn't particularly care for that anyway, but I'm goddamn sure they never get on as an operator or working in the yard office. They get every night off and every holiday and every weekend, and they'll survive somehow. The rest of the people are doing it. These guys are goddamn wonderful working for this outfit in these hours. They want to jump on somebody and discipline them. It's always us. I think we're a bunch of goddamn fools. Trainmen and all those people can do what they like. You can't even get 20 minutes to eat your lunch. In fact, they haven't the last 3 weeks to a month. There isn't time to eat your lunch anyway. And my job, and the rest of them in the office are about as bad. You turn around and you think you got a sandwich or something left and it's gone. You forgot you ate it. You know what that's like. That's the way it's been. But they don't care. You haven't got a hot plate. You haven't got nothing but a coffee machine. Just suppose you grab it and shove it down your throat and keep talking and push buttons and put out orders and on the radio and all that. The hell with eating, you don't have to worry. But the guy on the train, he eats. You goddamn well pleased with the main line in front of the Queen's train or what? They don't fool those guys. They got a union, we haven't, of course. We'll have less as time goes by. I imagine there's a catch in this thing. They want us to go into the middle management. They give us enough money. It's up there where the rest of the guys are, and then watch it. Any more talk about them bringing down the Edmonton or Campbellton L down that end? I'm just wondering. Somebody from down that way said they're going to. I don't know. I think it was one of the operators from here was down to Newcastle to see somebody used to work up here, and then he went down there, and he said there's some talk of it, but I guess there's been talk, but I suppose sometime it will materialize. Heather and Pam are outdoors. Just come in, they're out throwing snowballs or something. It's just 8 o'clock. The days are getting longer, Al, and this tape's getting shorter. So I think I'll just cut her off now and shoot her along to you. You get it Monday, I guess. And I'll sit down and I'm going to send. Did you ever get that sounder working? I must send some stuff to you here some night just to stay in tune. And say hello to Norma. And I always forget to ask how Roy is. I don't know. Just, I guess, one-track mind, but I guess he's doing pretty good. And he sure as hell must have a lot of gumption to be pushing it for to walk around in. So say hello to everybody, and we'll wait for you seem to have all the news, and I never have much. But anyway, we'll see what happens, and I'll be waiting for another word from you. By the way, thank Norma for sending that thing about George, Jean's Uncle George. He was been sick in a coma for quite a while, and she found out through Miss McNeil, told Helen, and Helen told us, of course, but we didn't know he was that far gone. I guess he's been sick for quite a while. Dougie, Jean's brother, was in the hospital for a while. He took some kind of a tailspin, been off work for a while too. I don't know what it was, heart or what the hell it is. Helen's husband's got hardening of the arteries. He's got to have operation on his groin down those main arteries, and too much cigarettes and not enough activity. That won't kill me, either one of them, but maybe too much. Something else might, but however, we'll see ya.